Greetings, Minecrafters. Nonsanity here, and welcome to episode 10 of the Primus Unabridged series. Today, I want to start with this room and start setting up some of my Applied Energistics that's going to be helping me automate everything else. So, let's get out some project chests and let's get started. So, I've done some setting up in here. Laid out a little bit of decorative build, punched some holes in the walls, a rather big one over here, and I've got some project chests, one there, one there, one there, one back there. But first, when I come out here to the central area, which I still really haven't done anything with, except here in the middle, I've set up some more decorative. And this is where we're going to start. This is where I'm going to put my ME controller. And I'm going to do something a little bit different because you always got to do some things different. And let's go ahead and start laying this out. Now, what I'm going to start with here is a small square in the middle with a tesseract. I know the power source is right down there. In fact, there is the matching tesseract, but I have that attached directly to the port, so I'm just going to stick another one up here. I made a whole bunch of these things, so I've got tons. Alright, and now put a little wing side sticking out each side. And I know if anybody has been my subscriber for a long time or has watched a lot of my other videos, I did a number of tutorials on Applied Energistics, including controller designs to maximize the number of devices you can have attached. But I don't need to maximize. Nobody ever uses that many channels, which is really the point of that video in my head, was showing you that you don't need all that. So I'm just going to build what I think I need and then triple it, quadruple it. I don't think I'll ever need this much, but I like the look of it, so we're going to go with this. Now over here I've got some holes, and this is where I'm going to start. Why do I have 4 extra? Oh, because I did it wrong. The whole thing has got to move down one more block, I think. How tall is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it goes down one more. And then we get the circle down here. Okay. That's right. That's the way I wanted it. So now I've got some other things here. Well, one of the things we have is Immersive integration. It's an add-on for immersive engineering, but it gives you these. This is a transformer, but it's an ME dense transformer. The recipe is iron a dense wire connector, which uses ME wire connectors, which some sky stone, some fluix, and a glass cable. Makes sense. Oh, I didn't get the key binding for that, so let's go back. And then it needs this dense wire coil, and this is where it uses a lot of this dense wire coil, which is each one of those is 2 fluix wires and 2 ME cables, and that's more of the regular cables, and you get 4 of those. So it doesn't take a ton, but it is equivalent to quite a lot of regular cable. So if you're going to go this route, you want to make sure that you're traveling some distance to make it worthwhile. I'm not traveling enough distance, but I like the look, so I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. Once you've got this, you can attach one of these dense wire coils to another one of those connectors. Oh, obstructed. Got to break a little bit more of this. That cleared it, didn't it? Yeah. So connect these 2 up. There we go. And I just like the look of it. And just to finish off the look, I'm going to cover that up so it's coming out the hole there. Over here I've got another one attached, and it's going inside these little corner spaces. The nice thing is once you've placed the wire, when you place the wire, it needs to have a line of sight, and this is enough line of sight to get to that one. But once you've placed it, you can then fill in the hole, and it's fine. So down here in this corner, I attached some more of these support columns from Catwalks mod and the dense wire connector, and I hooked it up there. And we'll be running a wire to the center over here. So let's go over there and do that. And I am stuck on the catwalk. So we'll take the ladder. So, project chest here. More stuff. These two we'll come back to in a little bit. So, what do we want? Actually, we probably won't even need those. I'm just going to stick them in here. So what do we want to do here? Well, we want to connect another... Actually, I want it the other way around. They do have these, like a sticker on one side. I just put that in the back because I like the blinky. So that gives us a connection there, and we're going to run a wire. I don't think it actually took it. Click that. You don't click this thing, you click the top of the block. There we go. Now that's hooked up, and that's the way to look here in the room. I sort of like that. You need these transformers to convert to and from these cables and the regular dense cables that Applied Energistics uses. You can also do the same thing with, there's a different transformer for non-dense. The dense, just like these dense cables, takes 32 channels, and the regular non-dense lines take 8, just like the regular non-dense cables, like this one right here that I'm going to stick on there. Now I'm going to put a terminal, and now we can close up the side of this because it is built. The purpose of this is just to bring the cable in and run it out the bottom. Oh, I left a bit of cable here. Well, we can do that one next then. So that cable comes down and it runs back over here. Now the odd thing is, there's the controller right there, and here's this. And I just ran all that cable around, and I'm sort of right back almost where I started. I'm not doing this to be efficient. I'm doing this to use these lines. I like these power lines. So even though it was very expensive, relatively speaking, to just using regular cables, I wanted to do it that way. So what have we got over here? Oh, yeah, that's right. That's why this cable was here, because I was still making something, but I ran out of materials. Let me go make it right now. Now, this is not hooked up to the controller yet, and it's not going to be, because we're going to rip this apart and put it somewhere else. But I wanted to make a storage bus. Storage, but no, I wanted to make an interface. That's what I wanted to make. But I was out of annihilation cores, wasn't I? Yes, I was. So make some annihilation cores. I was out of fluic, so I had to go do that, and then I got distracted by some other problems. We had a bad block in the game, so I had to download the world and MC edit out the bad block. I want to make this a piece like that. And I've got one extra panel. Oh, yes, the other side, where I was looking through during the opening. Right over here. Seal that up. All right, so what is going to be over here? Over here is going to be an interface, and we'll program it in a bit. I've got all this stuff. Let's grab it all. These are the advanced inscribers from AE2 stuff. I don't know which is which, so we may have to move things around a little bit. But I'm going to just slap them down here. You know, I don't think they have a front or a back, so I'll do this from the back, because that's where I'll have to do the rest of the work. And the last one is stuck in my cursor. Thank you, Inventory Tweaks, for being a pain. All right, so we've got engineering, calculation, logic. Those are exactly where I wanted them to be. Silicon, not silicon. All right, that one's wrong. Silicon, oh, that was right. So far as one's wrong. That's the engineering. It's in the wrong place. That one's in the wrong place. Here's the silicon probably. Yep. So silicon there. All right, so that's logic, calculation, engineering, silicon, 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 and then these three bottom ones are empty. But they will be where we combine things in a little bit. All right, so now let's do these first. Item conduits. And the way this is going to work, by having 9, we can make all 3 types at full speed. So for the logic here, this makes the basic logic by giving it gold. This is making silicon specifically for the logic, and then here's the assembly specifically for the logic. So this column is for logic, this column is for calculation, this column is for engineering. Now, we're not going to really tie these 3 specifically to one. They're just 3 different silicons. They can all be running at the same time, but that'll be fine. So now, can we figure out what's in these? No, it just says configured. Oh, that's going to be a pain. I really wish holding shift would tell you what they're configured for. These 3 are probably silicon because they're stacked. Well, let's just try one. And it is the insert that we care. All right, got it. Again, I'm lucky. That is the gold. So now we actually don't want it to be on insert. We want it to be on in and out, because everything is going to be dumped into this chest, all the raw materials, and then it's going to get pumped out. This is set to extract all the time now. Yes, yes. It's going to extract everything it can, which is only going to be things it has someplace to put. So it's going to extract everything out that it can and stick them somewhere. So all we have to do is filter these as to what can go in them. And then all these will be set to pull out whatever the final product is and send it back to the chest. So this chest will actually be in and out as well. So insert and extract everything. And then as soon as whatever recipe has been put into this interface comes back, it'll send it into the system. So this should all work. Haven't tested it yet. So we got in and out, gold coming in, extract everything. This one, let's see if I get lucky again. Which one was this? Calculation. Yes, no, that's wrong one. That one? There we go. Pure Certus quartz. Again, it's in and out. Insert, actually insert is where we want the filter. Insert Pure Certus, export everything. And this is the last one. Let's see, in and out, insert diamonds, extract everything. All right, those 3 are set up. So now if I were to put gold in here, it would get sent up here, get compressed, the printed logic circuit would get pulled out and sent back down to here. Now we need to do the 3 silicons. They're the same way. In and out, insert a silicon, and extract everything. Insert silicon, extract everything. All right, now down here is where we assemble the printed logic circuits and redstone. So this is also in and out. And see if I get lucky again. No. No. There we go. We can insert printed silicon, redstone, and printed logic circuits. And we're going to extract everything. This one, what was this? I keep forgetting. All right, this is calculation. In and out. Calculation circuit. Redstone, printed silicon are inserted, and extracting. There, everything. And last but not least, insert the engineering, redstone, printed silicon, export everything. So this was already set. Insert everything, export everything. So now if I toss these in, see they're going, they should be going over here. They are. If I toss in redstone, it should be going to all 3 of these. And actually, we can, in the extract, set it to round robin. Whoop, it started doing things. No. For some reason, it's just glitching its visualization there. And then the silicon goes in the bottom. So they now should all have a stack of redstone. They do. Alright. And if I put these in, they should go here. Ah, and it's already making, so it's got some printed silicon in it already. Let's take that silicon out. Oop. And put it down here. It should round robin to all of them. Yep. They're all getting some. And the output is coming back down here. So now we've got these 3. So let's get one of each. And we're going to come down here. Oh, we need to make some patterns. That'll wait, because we do need to set up some other things. But all these things are going to stop working here. Yep, it stopped. It's at 90% and it stopped. Why? Because it's out of power. They had some power when I was setting them up. So to get their power, it has to be AE power, not RF. So I'm going to lay some of this ME conduit from Ender IO, which can pass ME's power. Set up an energy acceptor here, and one of the tesseracts to give it power. And I don't want it connecting to the item conduits. There we go. So now they're running again because they're getting power. So at this point, if I dump the raw materials in here, silicon, redstone, gold, pure quartz, Certus quartz, and diamonds, it will create processors and output them back to this chest. All automatically. So all I have to do is make 3 patterns for the 3 processors, telling it to give it those raw materials. It will insert them in here, and then when it sees the results, it'll pull it back out and send it back into the system. So now we can craft all the processors on demand. But that really isn't hooked up much except to the ME controller. So next I think it's time to move our storage. Let's break these 2 because they fill up my inventory out pretty well. So just move 2 at a time. And we're going to put them here. I like how they stick out a little bit because these aren't full blocks. This one will be all my 1Ks. This one will be all the 4Ks. I'm taking a bit of a risk here because they're not hooked up, so if I need something out of my storage, I'm not going to be able to get it until I finish hooking it up. I think I've got everything I need. So there, and I've got a spare one in here that doesn't have anything in it yet, but will. So these are the 16s, and these are the 64s. Alright. But we need the rest of this material to start doing something with it. So let's go down here, and I'm going to run a cable out this way. Now at this point, we're going to start using channels. So I'm going to stick a P2P tunnel here. See, it connects. That is this is the output side of the tunnel. And this is the input side. The input side is just coming from our central stack. And it's using 1 channel on this cable, and it's going to output over here this dense cable filled with 32 channels. And then that I'm going to run up over here. So I've got some space cut out for it. It's going to come up and just attach to the back of all the drives. So let's go back up here. So all the drives are connected. This terminal should now be able to see all my stuff. It does not. Oh, yes, it can't, because it's got that P2P tunnel in the way. And the tunnel is online, but it doesn't have a channel set to, or it doesn't have a other end. So this dense cable is going into the tunnel and it's not coming out anywhere else. So over here, this section is not doing anything. It's basically not powered. It has no data. You can see there's no channel lines on it, even though I hooked up some drives. Nothing over here. So we need the other end of this tunnel that it's going into. And where are we going to do that? Well, if you've watched my Applied Energistics tutorial stuff, it's going to be attached to these. So basically, wherever this tunnel comes out is the other end of that cable. And I'm just going to have it attached straight to the side right there. But, and I do need some of those cables I put away. Smart. There we go. But now the back of this is not attached to anything. So while each face of this thing can put out 32 channels. So the 32 channels coming out this face are going into the tunnel, but they're not going to that other tunnel because they're not linked together. That's what the memory card's for. I'm going to shift right-click, and I'm going to go over there and regular right-click the tunnel, and these two tunnels will be linked. But we're still not done, because this tunnel, while sucking up 32 channels on the face, is offline. It's not powered. It's not actually connected to anything. Now, in my tutorial, I kept the cables that are connected to these tunnels separate from the controller. I called that the transport network, and I usually made it black, like this. So I would normally run this black cable over to that tunnel. Coming up, this would be the black cable, and then the yellow cable coming out. But that's not the way I'm going to do it here. Though while I'm over here, I am going to program it with the channel. The problem is we need to connect this one up. And instead of sending a cable go over there, I'm just going to attach it to... Actually, break that. I don't want it there yet. I want it down here. Because I want 8 channels. There's 7 up the side here and 1 on the bottom. But I'm going to attach it here. So now one of the channels coming out of this face goes into this tunnel. It's sort of confusing now, isn't it? 32 channels are coming out of the bottom of this ME controller block into the tunnel, getting compressed down into a little tiny packet, and then it's going back into the controller. So that little tiny compressed packet of 32 channels is now floating in this controller. Controller is going through that purple wire I hung over the central tower over there, down the central tower, into this cable. That's that white line there. Well, the white line is really this thing, but it's sending that packet over here. Well, it will once I connect them back up again. So I've got a link, shift, right-click, and right-click over here. So that little tiny packet is coming over here and expanding back out to 32 channels. And look at that. These have all lit up with 5 lines. Every other line in the sort of pale yellow, and then the one brighter white yellow gives you 5 for the 5 drives. Very good. And we got plenty more over here on this dense cable. Full 32. So let's go back up here. Now this terminal, it's not attached to a tunnel. It's attached directly to our main line. But it can see what's over there outside that tunnel because the tunnel back at the center is linked to the main network. So I can see everything. Very good. All right, so all that's confusing. And in the future, if I break this and put it back again, it'll lose its connection to that tunnel over there. And maybe by that time, I'll have a lot more tunnels over here. So I need to know which one is which. Or I save the memory card. So what I'm going to do is stick an item frame here and use this same memory card that has the connection to that tunnel over there and leave it here. So now if I break everything, I can put it all back. So this tunnel is offline, but I hit it with the memory card and then put the memory card back, and it should all be working again. And it is. See everything light up? So this is a decent way to keep track of everything. It may be possible now to put these guys in anvils and name them so that they show up on Wayla. At the time I did the tutorial, that wasn't working. Maybe it is now, but I'll just leave it for now. So that is the first tunnel down there, and then I'll put 7 more up the front of this, and that will completely fill this cable with its 8 channels. And the fact that this is attached to this column doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter which one it's attached to. It just has to be, it doesn't even have to be attached to the ME controller itself. Like over there, it could be attached to cable. It just, because this passes dense, it's passing 32 channels, so it has to be attached to either a dense cable or directly to an ME controller. Something that provides 32 channels. Otherwise, it's only going to be transmitting 8, even though it can support 32. So, alright. That's done. So this whole setup now is doing nothing. Except this guy here. This is where stuff will come in from like my mob farms. I used to have it coming into this, but that is not hooked up to anything right now. In fact, its pair is here in my modular storage. This modular storage just has a remote to ID2, which, if you remember in my portable one here, the second page is ID2. So anything that goes in here gets pulled out, stuck into the interface, and it's probably just going to be sitting in there, isn't it? Yeah, because it has nowhere to go. But basically this, because I put an ID2 remote storage module in here, is exactly the same as page 2 of my portable one. They're both connected to the actual storage right here. This is ID2. Basically put one of those remote storage things right here, and it sets it to channel 2. This is 1, 2, 3, and 4. But this is the page 2 of my modular. So I just keep sticking remotes in there, and I can have as many accesses to that as I want. So right here, the mob farm output, and you can't see the cables right now. They keep disappearing. You can see the outline right here. It's running into the side of this. If I click that, yeah, there. Extract, actually that should be insert. And now you can see it. So anything from the mob farm will go into here, which is basically my input chest for the whole server. That second page of my mobile storage. I wonder if there was anything in the system that just got sent through because I set it to insert. Nope, it was empty. Where is my night vision? There it is. Alright, so we've got down here now storage and crafting. So I won't use that one out there for crafting. I'll use this one in here for now. I'll have more in a bit. So this chest is empty. We can get rid of it. This one is empty. We can get rid of it. That one is actually visible. Interesting. That way, if I ever wanted to manually produce them, I can toss the raw materials in there. We have to work on patterns to get that fully hooked up. But we need to do one more thing back over here. So let's put away these chests and get what's in this box. And the main things, whoops, are going to be very familiar at this point. And we'll have that ready. So let's go underneath. And we're going to run another cable. And right here we're going to have a dense cable, a tunnel, hook it up, and then off the back we're going to come up, and let's actually get rid of that for the moment. And I'm going to do this from the front. This is where I'm going to put my large storage for the time being. because I've got a bunch of these containers that have stuff in them I want to have available. And I've got two more. What's this one? Sand. I'd rather have this one. I made one deep storage unit to hold my glowstone dust, because I had a lot of it. And from Simple Labels mod, we get these. Oops. Well, it's a deep storage label. Just paper around a wooden slab. Fairly cheap. Shift-click it on there, and it displays what's in there, just like a barrel. In fact, I like it better than the barrels because it shows you the amount. And with deep storage units, you don't really have to worry about how full, because they hold like 2 billion. So they're fine. You don't have to worry about how full it is. Just have to know how much is in it. See, these can be confusing because there's 3 different sizes here. So it's not immediately obvious which one has the most. I mean, this is the largest. It holds 640,000. These are the smallest at only 40, and these are middle at 160,000. So I have the most of this for sure. And the least of this, though the bars don't reflect that very well. Anyway, back down. Now we're going to hook those to the network by using, these storage buses. Slap them on the back and hook them up to cables. They should now be all... Oh no, they won't be online because this tunnel isn't connected to anything. And we have a frame, but first we have to program this card and put another tunnel down. So this tunnel is going to go there. So we're going to shift right click it, but it needs to be connected. So I need a piece of that smart cable that's black. There we go. Hook it up. Very good. I tagged the card already. So now I just come back over here. Whack it. Watch for the cable to light up. It should light up. There it is. Save the card for later. And we should now be able to see all of those materials in here. Yep, there they all are, right up at the top, because I got the most of them. All right, so those are the 3 projects. Next is getting the patterns for this, which I don't have set up in the project chest, so I need to go make some materials, and I'll be right back. I just placed the sand there with another one of the storage buses behind it, because I forgot I had that in my inventory. And now let's just go ahead and do the pattern stuff together, because it's not really that much stuff. So we want a pattern encoder. Do I have the materials? Almost. I don't have the panel. Really? There we go. So make that. And then I'm going to need some blank patterns. And I'm just going to go ahead and make a stack. Yeah. No problem. For the moment, I'm going to stick this not there, not like that, because now it's stuck. Give me anything to put on top and pop it off. There we go. These are carpenter's blocks floors, so stick it down like that. Oh, it could be on the side, too. I might incorporate it into the tower here. Oh, that's right. It needs to be on the network. I will incorporate it onto the tower. Can it be made into a... No, it can't be made flat? Oh, it's a different thing for the flat. Pattern terminal. That's what I really want. So let's make another crafting terminal and make another ME terminal. Get rid of that. That's old school. Let's go new school. So make that and that. There we go. And I could just stick it on the side here. Let's just do that. Stick it on the side. And I think I can put this back. Yeah, it covers it. Oh, I didn't. Just cut it. No, excuse me, like that. and stick it right there. There we go. I know you can use the facades that are actually from Applied Energistics, but this works too. Now, this we put in here, and we're going to teach it a few things. But we need to, there's crafting patterns, in which case you can just like take one of these and shift click on the question mark, and there you can encode that, and now it knows how to make bookshelves. But that's not what we're making. We're making processors. But these don't have a question mark because they don't use regular crafting. You need to give them the raw material. So that's what this button over here is. Processing pattern. Processing pattern are for things that it doesn't necessarily know how to make. You can have multiple outputs too. In our case, there's just one output. So let's do the logic. We don't need to care about that. We're making logic processors. For that we need gold. We need redstone. Or I'm going to need some more redstone here. We need silicon. Just the raw silicon. Those three raw ingredients will make the logic processor based on the machinery we have out back. So let's go over to that. So remember we said we put the three raw ingredients in here and it'll make the processors. So let's put the pattern in. It now knows how to make those. So let's grab these out because they're not going to come out otherwise. Immediately. And we go to logic. So I already got what is that, 164? But if you hold down, I think, shift and click. No, shift and right click. No. One of these. Option. Yeah. So while in there, if you hover over it, and you just, Alt or Option, depending on your keyboard. Me, I'm on a Mac, it's Option. Just click that option, and it gives you the ability to order more. So I'm going to say order 10 more. Oh, it can't, because we don't have a processor, a CPU. Applied Energistics. Here's where we need to start making crafting units. So let's make them. Where'd they go? Here it is. Crafting unit basic. Let's just make 2 of them is good enough for now. And we're going to turn these into a 1K crafting unit. Oh, I'm out of logic, out of storage components. Let me make one. There we go. So one of these and a 1K gets you a 1K crafting storage. And then we also need actually, I don't think we need the crafting coprocessor unit, do we? Let's try it without. It's been a while. It's definitely been a while. Now, it doesn't matter where it goes. I'm just going to stick it here on the back temporarily, which will attach to that cable. Let's see if that's enough. So now, get to the processor. Say make 10. Go. Yes, that's all it's needed. So now this should be churning away over here. So the 3 silicons all fired off because they can all go at the same time to make the 10. So they probably did 3, 3, and 4. This one was running because that's where the logic circuit is created, and down here is where the logic processor was created. You can see it's got a lot of excess left in it. I'm going to have to flush out by hand. But now, if you look processor, I think we have more. I can't tell. Do we have more? Or are they still in this chest? Ah, they're still in the chest. And there's only 5. Probably because there's a little bit of extra materials in all these things. This probably took some of the silicon. So let me flush these out by making a whole bunch more silicon. Yeah, just there's so much left in the system. It looks like it's not going to insert it back into the system. I thought it did. I guess because it's just a regular inventory, it's not going to do that. Unless it did. No. And that's 181, but that's what it was before. One more thing we need. Import bus. Nope, not a liquid import bus. Regular import bus. Thank you. And we need some of the yellow smart cable. I think 2 is enough. And I want 1 of each. Come on, give it to me. Not giving it to me. 1, 2, 3. So basically we need to import those items. Oh, I need an upgrade too, so it can do more than 1. So for Applied Energistics, we need the cards, they're called, card. And I want the expansion capacity card, the capacity card it's called. So, make a capacity card. Alright. See, I should have done this beforehand and made sure I had all the parts ready. And it knows these 3. So, any of those 3 in there will now get pulled out. There they go. Slowly. I think I've got some speed upgrades spare. Don't I? I do. Let's grab some and speed this sucker up. There, now they're all gone. Alright, so that'll put them back in the system, and that should satisfy the crafting order. And we can find out by coming in here and... No, we need... Is this one C? No, which one C is the crafting orders? Oh, right up here. Crafting status. Yep. Crafting order is now done. Good. How are we doing flushing these out? Out of redstone. Grab some redstone, which I definitely need to get some more redstone for my storage unit back in the old base. 3 more will do that one. That one's done. That one's done. Okay. Actually, we can keep the redstone in there now. And these can all be filled with the redstone and the silicon because, especially the silicon, that'll keep them primed and ready to go a little bit faster. I guess it probably won't make too much of a difference because everything runs at about the same rate. It runs this one. It'll jump straight down to here if the silicon's already made. But it can make the silicon while it's making that, so it doesn't matter. Still, we can preload them. And it'll go a little bit faster. 64, 64. Alright, we're done. We got enough. Well, let's go ahead and leave it in there anyway. I did put a full set of acceleration cards in all these things. It makes them very much faster. Highly recommend doing that. A full 5. Okay. That should now be working just fine. So once again, processor, I've got 235. Let's order 5 more. Start. 235. 36. That's it. What happened? Oh. Are we out of redstone completely now? There's the extra silicon. Yeah, out of redstone in that one. My whole system's probably out of redstone. All right, let's check the totals now. 240. All right, good. I need to add the redstone over here. And I don't think the redstone is in one of these. I think it's just in a barrel, which will work here. But I'd rather have it in the same type of unit. I thought I had some more. We also need another storage bus. Oh, what am I out? Out of interfaces. Make another interface. Another storage bus. Let's put this back on. Because when you place the storage bus, it has to be against something. So put it there. Hook up the cable. I can break that off. I'm ready to stick another drive there. Now we can have only 8 of these things on this cable. But because I did use a tunnel here, this dense cable has 32. So to add more, I'll probably do them over here. So I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can put one more here. Over here, I'll have a separate cable coming out this side of the dense cable, or I'll run more dense cable. Do I have a little bit more on me? I do. Let's run 2 more pieces off. Then when I want to set up these 2 and more on this panel, I'll just run another smart cable off here and up, and I'll use cable anchors, which I have some. Here we go. To separate them from these cables. So now I can place more cables here and they won't connect. So this will be a separate 8 on this line connected to the 32 there, because this one is almost full. It has one more slot, which will be over here. So now it's just a matter of going back to the base, getting all the stuff out of those barrels, and putting them into... Should I make more of the deep storage? I could have everything be deep storage, but they're a bit of a pain to make and sort of expensive. So for now, I guess I'll just use the caches. And I don't think any of them are bigger than this, so I'll just get 3 of those. Let's get a couple extra. They're cheap enough. And I'll take them over and bring over the rest of my stuff, and I'll be right back. Alright, so there's the back of it with all of the drives hooked up. As you can see, the anchors separate the 2 lines. So you only have 8 things per smart cable. So there they all are. And so all of that should be online. Yep, I got the emeralds and the sugarcane and blaze rods and copper, and cobblestone is actually still in the system. So I should empty that out. So let's do that. That'll be our last thing here. Whoops. Let's get another cache. I know I've got a spare in here. Let's see. Cache. Yep. A nice resonant cache should do good for the cobblestone. And I've got one more spot over here that I can break open, and there's a storage bus behind. But we want that one to not be a storage bus at first. Let's break it. There, I got the storage bus back. And instead, let's get another smart cable. We're going to bring this around inside, and we're going to get an export bus, because all of that cobble is in those drives somewhere. Do I have one? I do have one. And I've got some acceleration cards, but I want to make one more. There we go. So I'm going to put the export bus on the bottom. Oh, do I have a piece of cobble? I don't have a... Let me get a piece of cobble. There we go. So I can program the export bus, open that up, toss in the acceleration cards, toss in a piece of cobble, and this is now going to start filling up with cobble. It sort of has to ramp up its speed. You can see it's 4 stacks, 5 stacks, 6. It should start going faster in a moment. There it goes. Building up some speed. Yeah, now it's moving. Look at it go. All right. Oops. There. So all the cobble is going to go in there. Now I broke the storage bus in the back because, like I said, this cable could only support 8 things. I needed to attach the export bus. So I took off its storage bus. With the storage bus on, there is a chance it might actually... If this had some cobble in it and it had the storage bus, it might actually move some over. Because these drives do defragment themselves. You could have like a ton of red down here in the 1Ks and green on the 64Ks. And these are red because there's a lot of the same thing, like the cobble on every drive. As it's just sitting here, it'll start moving that cobble around to make it so that it's just on one drive. So it'll probably migrate it all the way up to the 64K. But because I had a ton of cobble, I had 24K, so it would fit on 64K just fine. But it's probably in multiple places, so it's probably moving it all up. Now they're all green that I've getting that cobble out there, because it was probably spread around. Excuse me. If I remember correctly, it should be very close to being done. There, it's done. 24,728 cobble. Don't need this anymore. Let's put back that. And now let's go around and hook up the storage bus again. So storage bus and, oops, cable. Now these storage buses, you can come in here. This tells it what it's allowed to put in. Click this, it will read what it's connected to and put it in here. So I can go ahead and do that to all of them. That way, if the storage unit ever completely empties, it won't just fill it in with whatever it wants to. The next thing it needs to put away, it won't stick it in here. It'll remain coded to the same material. So that's recommended, unless you don't really care. But it's not that smart about what it puts in. Basically, the next possible thing will go in there, unless you play with the priorities. But this is what I want, so I'll just do that. Probably won't even come up because I'm never going to use as many of some of those materials as I already have. So I think we're going to wrap it up here. Put away my miscellaneous stuff. There we go. So that's the start of the AE room, and that is going to have to be moved somewhere else. I'll figure out where I'd like to put it, aesthetically speaking. And all this, well, I'll need to put that somewhere too, and that, and get them back on the network. So there's some more temporary materials here that I'm just going to slap on there. And over here, oh, I need the interface. Interface. Oh, it had stuff in it. What did it have in it? Some of the things I put back in the system, of course. Stick that on there too, and yeah, this is all just temporary. Oh, I forgot to grab the item conduit. I got some in here, not a problem. Item conduit. It doesn't like, I thought it was multi-block compatible. I guess it can't be placed if the multi-block is already there. No, it's, oh, okay, there. Put the multi-block back. No, it doesn't like that. Okay, I guess it doesn't like, yeah, they don't like multi-blocks. They use their own facades. So this is an extract all the time, and this one, I know there's a way to use a wrench, Come on, wrench. To... No. Shift. Nope. Wow, there was some way to do that. Alright, old school. Just get low enough so I can see it. If somebody knows that there is some way to get at that from a bad angle, but maybe one of you guys remembers, or I'll probably remember before I upload this video, but alright, so that'll extract out of here, so anything that goes in there should get, yeah, it's going away. Needs some speed upgrades. I got some of those, I think. Yep, right here. 15 is the max. Toss those in. And that should empty it out much faster. All right. All right, some temporary stuff here that I'll find new homes for. Probably just in one of these walls. Maybe over there. Or over here. I think I'll put my input chest over here. And that'll be it for this episode. So, hope you found it useful. I do like that cable. Just because it's different. It's inefficient, which is rare for me, but I like it. So, next time... next time. Well, I guess it depends on... I might go ahead and put... I'm thinking about the blue room would be for all my machines. Just a regular machine shop in here. It might be a bit big for that. But I can put all of my random automation in here. So yeah, that's not bad a use for it. That will be my machine shop. And then maybe do a little bit of Blood Magic, Thaumcraft, or Botania next. I plan on automating them all. So if you guys have a preference as to what's first, let me know. I can take all this apart because it's not doing anything here now. Let me know, and maybe I'll start with one of those next. So, until next time, this is Nonsanity signing out. Take care, be good, and see you next time.